Welcome back to Eric's Drink Whiskey. Miller here, flying solo, getting some content put out as I can between mine and Simpson's work schedule. It's a little all over the place, a little bit more difficult than it used to be. But here I am. This one is not rare, it's not limited, it's not special, it's not old, but it is good. And it's good bang for your buck, especially if you're a fan of wheated bourbons. And that is Rebel 100. This is a Lux Row product. You may be familiar with it. Previously, the branding was Rebel Yell, 80 proof, 100, what have you. I think it was within the last 2 years, Lux Row rebranded that, dropped the Yell. If you're unsure why, just look up the origins of Rebel Yell, the term. You'll understand why that's probably a good idea. So, Rebel 100 came out in 2019. It is 100 proof. It's non-age stated. It's a wheated bourbon. Now, what we do know about Lux Row, and by reading this bottle, distilled and aged in Kentucky, bottled for Lux Row distillers. So this is not Lux Row distillate. I know a lot of their stuff is switching over to their own distillate as some of their stocks have aged, but a lot of this stuff is still sourced. Now, what we do know about Lux Row's sourcing is that a lot of it comes from Heaven Hill. So, if we're following that thinking, we have a non-age stated 100 proof Heaven Hill wheated bourbon, which is a toss-up between, I mean, it's pretty much larceny, if we had to take a guess. I haven't done a side-by-side of this in larceny. I'd be anxious to do so to see if it carries kind of some of those more spicier weedy notes like larceny has, or if it falls in line with the old Fitz 6-year-old bottled in bond that was right at 100 proof, which was absolutely delicious. So let's see. Just right on inspection, beautiful color, nice little streaks on the glass. I wouldn't expect a whole lot because I think this is chill filtered. It doesn't say it's not, so I'm assuming it is. So let's dive in. I get that note. I get this with a lot of wheaters. It's kind of like a mix between grape, grape flavor and juicy fruit gum. So those two kind of combined with a little grassy note. So kind of a fruit, that kind of fruity, weedy nose. Little bit of oak. A little bit of peanuts. As I'm nosing this some more, I'm getting a little bit more of the cinnamon. Thinking back to like my Maker's 101 that's got a pretty good cinnamon note to it. Overall, it's not as harsh on the nose as I recall larceny being, but of course I wouldn't really know without having them in the lineup. So here we go. Cheers. Ooh, oh man. It's not as fruity on the palate. It's not as fruity at all. It's not fruity at all on the palate. It's got a nice kind of oily mouthfeel. It's not thin. It's got like a lot of that kind of clovey, juicy fruitness with some cinnamon. That's really good. A hint of some oak on the back, just a little bit, and just a hint of that kind of weedy grassiness. Now, like you're probably like, you've drank this before. Why are you surprised by these notes? Well, I'll tell you, it's been months since I've poured any out of this bottle. You know, I think as whiskey drinkers, we all have one or two that we maybe cycle through on a regular basis from week to week. Of course, with Eric and I filming this show, we've got a shit ton of bottles that we drink out of, in addition to our daily drinkers. So it's, if one gets pushed to the back of the shelf, it's nothing against that bourbon or whiskey. It's just the luck of the draw. But no, this is damn good. Final thoughts on it. There's a lot of flavor in this little bottle for 24 bucks. Don't let, if you know what, I can't even say that. I was gonna say don't let the fact that it's sourced like turn you away. Like Lux Row does some quality shit. If you've had the old Ezra, the 7-year-old, that stuff is phenomenal. A lot of folks really love the Blood Oath. I think they're on like pack 7 or 9 or something now. For me, that's a little cost prohibitive, but if that's your ball game, folks absolutely love those Blood Oath expressions. They're even expanding. They've got an Ezra 99 now, which is circa 100 proof. I think it's Lux Row juice actually. But so Lux Row is doing great things. This is one of them. This 100 proof weeder. It's really the only thing out there on the market. The closest out there is Weller 107, the antique, and Maker's 101. And if you can find old OWA, it's well above 24 bucks. And the Maker's 101 is hitting about 35. So it's really peerless in the market at this price point, and it's absolutely delicious. I would actually probably drink this before I drink any of those other two. And that's the God's honest truth. So this has been me fumbling through a little review here by myself of a bourbon I obviously didn't do a lot of research on beforehand. So thanks for sticking around. Social media information to follow. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Also check out our podcast, EDWNCF. That's Eric's Drink Whiskey Non-Chill Filtered on Apple Podcasts and Shout Engine. And until next time, my friends, cheers.